Welcome to Statesman.com and another edition of the High School Blitz. I'm Danny Davis. This is Rick Cantu. Rick, we reached the second round of the playoffs. No sense of wasting time. Let's just get right into it. We've got Cedar Park and Kerrville-Tybee meeting in Georgetown on Friday. Both teams are 11-0. Both teams are ranked in the Class 5A poll when the regular season ended. How's this one going to go?
Well, it's the style of two different teams. Kerrville-Tybee averages 58 points a game, but by contrast, Cedar Park only allows 15 points a game. They say defense wins championships. I'm going to go with Cedar Park because of Jav Guidry, their great defensive player. Augustine Tambay has been one of their top players for a few years. I think it's going to be Cedar Park's toughest game of the year, but I think they'll prevail.
Yeah, these teams, this is actually the fourth straight year they've met in the postseason. Cedar Park won the last three. I think they make it 4-0 this year. You mentioned some defensive players. Don't forget Mac McCaskill, another linebacker who's really been a standout this year. And speaking of Mac, let's talk about Mac Sexton, their quarterback, a sophomore. He has had a pretty good debut season, threw 4 touchdown passes in there by district win over Bastrop. And I just like the way Cedar Park's playing right now, so I think they stay #1 in Class 5A. Speaking of that District 25 5A, we're going to be staying in there for much of this video. Next up is Vandergrift, San Marcos. Vandergrift is going down to San Marcos. What happens here?
I don't think the home field is going to be that big a difference. I'm going to pick Vandergrift. I think they've got too much offense. Travis Brannon, he was the Offensive Player of the Year for the entire state of Texas last year in Class 5A. More than 1,900 yards again this year, even though he hasn't carried the ball as much this year. Kavian Garner for San Marcos is almost 1,500 yards. He's their ball carrier, but I just think that the Vipers just have too much offense. They're going to win by 15.
San Marcos actually hasn't lost at home this year, but Vandergrift is by far the best team they played at home. Probably the team that had that title beforehand was Lockhart, and we know what happened in that Lockhart game. It was kind of a win with an asterisk. But yeah, I like the way both running backs have been playing, but I just like Travis Brennan a little bit too much. I expect him to get over 2,000 yards for the season in this game, and I expect Vandergrift to be playing next week. But the Rattlers, very good season for them. Vista Ridge and Lockhart, another 9-2 versus another 8-3 team. It's going to be over at Bobcat Stadium, so if you want to go to San Marcos, 2 very good games down there. Who wins this one? I'm
going to go with Vista Ridge. Again, I think they've got too much offense. Matt Snow, 400 yards of total offense last weekend of victory. Lockhart, watch out for their defense. 4 interceptions in their victory over San Antonio Highlands. They average 38 points a game, so they're obviously a good team. Close game, I'm going with Vista Ridge.
Yeah, on paper, these teams are actually pretty similar. Vista Ridge's defense has allowed 5 more points than Lockhart this year. Both teams have a pair of 1,000-yard rushers, Matt Snow and Isaiah Valera for Vista Ridge, DJ Ellison and Stephon Houston for Lockhart. But I like Vista Ridge. I think they win it close, and I'm going to, even though these are 2 running teams, Cody Williams, he's tight end for Vista Ridge. I'm predicting he catches the game-winning touchdown. All right, let's finish up in TAPS. We got Regents, a 6-4 team. They're going to try to knock off Fort Worth Christian in Waco on Saturday. Can the Knights do it?
I think they can do it, but I don't think they will. Unfortunately, they're running into a buzzsaw with Fort Worth Christian. They're 10-1 in the last 4 years. They're 46-14. And I just think they average 47 points a game. That's just too much offense. I like Jace Franklin, the quarterback at Regents. He's done well. And on a positive note for Regents, they've won 4 games in a row, so they're coming in, playing their best football of the season. I just don't think it's going to be enough to catapult them over them.
Yeah, Regents is actually, they've allowed on defense 600-yard rushers this season. That needs to get better because Jack Roberson, Fort Worth Christian's main guy, has over 2,200 yards this season, 37 touchdowns. And they played Hyde Park last week, a team that Regents beat by 1 earlier this season, and they won 41-10. So, judging by the schedule, Fort Worth Christian definitely has the edge, but I'm going to go with Regents in an upset. Connor Allen, running back to know, coming off a 3-touchdown game. I say he gets 4 this week, and Regents moves on.
Wow, that is a big upset on your part.
All right, those are our picks for the week. As always, check back at Statesman.com over the weekend to see how good or how bad we did, and we'll see you next week.